Hey guys, what's going on? It's RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Nolan. In today's video, I have got another upgrade for the Cheapest Traxxas Slash project. Now, this is an upgrade that I think a lot of you have been waiting for, and I think it's about time that I make this move. Now, what is the upgrade, you may ask? Well, guys, it is finally time to go brushless. So right here, guys, this is pretty well a stock setup that would come in a Brushless Traxxas Slash. So this is what would come in a two-wheel drive Traxxas Slash VXL. This is the 3500 kV Velineon Brushless Motor, as well as the VXL-3S ESC. So this is basically going to be plug and play. Now I was looking at this, and I don't know what this is pulled out of. I got it off of eBay. I think it cost roughly $135, so it wasn't a bad price for both of these for 135 bucks. But this was pulled out of some new Traxxas model. I don't know exactly what it was pulled out of, nor do I actually know what this cord right here is for. So if anybody has a Traxxas model that has this VXL-3S, and you know what this little wire right here with this little plug is, let me know in the comments below. I can only assume it's some sort of, maybe it's for the onboard audio kit. It might be for the onboard audio, or it might be for some sort of light kit. I don't know. But let me know in the comments, guys, if you know what this is actually for. So basically, that's what I'm doing today, guys. I am installing these two items, and then in the next video, I am going to be testing it out. So let's go ahead and get the body off the Slash and get into installing this. Alright. And if you watched the last video, what I did do is I upgraded the chassis and we did test this out. So the chassis has been upgraded to the low center of gravity chassis, and if you watched the video of me testing this, it definitely is significantly more planted than it was. Now, it still is kind of prone to flipping, so it's still going to flip on you. That's the thing I noticed. And I think a lot of it has to do with the weight back here. Just so much of the weight being back here, I feel like the thing wants to tip over itself, especially when you go into curves and you're slowing down. The whole back end wants to rotate, and this weight right here wants to go and keep on going forward. So I think that's where the issue's coming from, but the battery and everything does sit way lower, so that is a huge bonus, and I think it still is a night and day difference. So it's definitely something that's worth doing in my mind, because this only costs $39.99, but you do have to do quite a bit to transfer everything over to this chassis. So it takes a little bit of time to actually do this, but I do think it's well worth it. So guys, what we're focusing on today, guys, is we are going to be removing the XL5 brushed ESC, and we're also going to be removing the Titan 12-turn 550 can motor. Alright guys, one more thing I forgot to show on the intro is I also bought one of these fans. This is actually not a Traxxas upgrade part. This is I want to say this is a Power Hobby one, but Traxxas makes a Velineon fan that bolts on top of, or it doesn't bolt, it clips. They make a fan that clips on top of the heat sink on the VXL-3S ESC, and this is basically the same thing, not the Traxxas upgrade part. It is I believe, like I said, a Power Hobby. It only costs 12 or 13 bucks, and that's going to go on onto the ESC as well. So, just want to show that to you guys real quick. So, jumping into this, I think first what we're going to start with is I am going to unbolt the ESC. So, let me move this camera a little bit closer so you guys can see. And right now, the ESC is being held on with two 2mm screws. I'm also going to want to get the cover off of the radio box because I'm going to have to unplug the ESC wires from the receiver. So I'm actually going to start off with that. Now I will take this other front portion of the receiver box cover off. That's also held on by two 2mm screws, and that is off right there. I am going to undo the 2mm screws that hold the ESC down. Assume the VXL-3S will fit in the same location, I imagine, because it doesn't look like there's anywhere else it can possibly go. So I'm also going to go ahead right here, guys, and I'm going to unplug the motor and wires and slide these through the front portion. And that is loose. Now I'm going to remove the battery box cover or strap. Slot number 2, that right there is the ESC wire. And there, finally, the ESC is free, and we are finally done with this XL5 brushed ESC. Really, I can probably use this for some other machine in the future. Go ahead, set this aside. We can go ahead and get this 3S ESC put in. So it looks like it's going to go in the exact same location. Let's see. Because the motor wires, I'm assuming it's going to have to go like this. Looks like there's two different sets of wires. I don't know if you guys can see this, but, or two sets of holes, I should say. Hole here and a hole here. That's where the original ESC was set. I assume the 3S is going to go here and then in this bottom hole, because I'm assuming it is a little bit wider. These ones right here are actually not going to be long enough. These ones that I had holding this ESC on right here are not going to be long enough. So I need to go find some longer screws. So I will be right back with you guys. Alright guys, I went back to the ones that were, these were the ones that originally had the XL5 ESC mounted into the high center of gravity chassis. So these are the ones that we're going to want to retain. They're a slight bit longer, and actually these are also a 2.5 millimeter head. So the ones I just took out were 2 millimeter heads. Is bolted down in. I'm going to go back over to this side, guys, and I am going to go ahead and feed this ESC wire back to the receiver box. Now this, like I said, guys, goes back into, let's see, channel 2, which is this one right here. We may as well go ahead and put this fan on right now while I'm thinking about it, guys. Now we got the fan on and it is plugged in. I don't know where I'm going to put this. I could run it to the receiver box, which is what I might do. Actually, I don't know if I can get that to the receiver box. That's not going to fit through there very well. No, that's not going to fit through those little... It's not going to fit through these very well at all. I don't think it's going to fit through these actually at all. Not very easily. I might just have to wrap this around, guys, and kind of like pin it off to the side or something. I'll figure out something for that, guys. I think what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to go ahead and get the wheel off and access the... We're going to access the gearbox and then loosen up the stock 550 can motor. And you don't necessarily have to do this to access the gearbox, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier. So we're going to remove that, and then we have two 2mm, one right here and one right there. So let's go for the bottom one, which I can't really see, but we will feel for it. And there. And the bottom one is a shorter screw slightly, but they are both the same 2mm head. Now that we have that off, guys, then what we can do is I am going to loosen the pinion right here, which this right here is a 1.5mm, I believe. So I'm going to go and grab the tiny little, let's see, which one is it? This should be it, tiny little 1.5mm. And I am going to break this loose, or try to. And might need some persuasion from a flathead screwdriver. There we go. And it is off, guys. And I think this 23 tooth, by the way, is the one that I'm going to retain using. I think I'm going to put this back on once I get the brushless motor on there. Even though the brushless motor does have one that's already on, but that's only a 13 tooth. And the thing I'm noticing is I can't use this one anyway, because this must not have been pulled out of a two-wheel drive Slash, because this has got a 32 pitch gear mesh, or gear pitch, I should say. This has 32 pitch gears. So as you can see, the gear that I just took off the motor is not even the same gear pitch. So this right here must have come out of like a four-wheel drive Slash, or maybe a Stampede. Came out of something that has a different gear mesh. So we're going to have to retain using this 48 pitch gear mesh anyhow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unbolt the 2mm, then hold the motor on. One. And got two, and that one can just stay in there because the spur gear blocks that a little bit. And we have got the 550 12-turn Titan motor out. And this one we are done with. Motor wants to turn. There we go. And we got that off, guys. And we will not be needing this 13 tooth. And we are going to slide this motor in and see how we have to have it situated. Probably something like this. Going to put a dab of thread lock on this one as well, and this is going into obviously a metal can, so it's a good idea to have thread lock on. Let me find that bottom hole. Well, let's go ahead and get the 23 tooth tightened back down onto it. Alright guys, got that one tightened on. Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to slide the motor can and get that gear mesh set, and I just do it kind of by feel. I will just try to demonstrate how I go ahead and go about doing it. I like there to be just a smidge of wiggle room, so just a tiny bit. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Just go ahead and listen. Just make sure it's smooth all the way around. Spins smoothly. We will get the gear cover back on. Alright guys, that is back on. Let's go ahead and get the wheel back on. Alright, that is snug. Now I'm assuming the motor wires, we will also put those through right here. So then we're just going to plug these right in, guys. There is blue to blue, yellow to yellow, and of course white to white. As you guys can see, it is done. We have got the VXL-3S ESC in. We have got the 3500 kV Velineon motor in. And the next time you see this thing, we're going to be testing it out. I do have to find some way. I'll pin this up somehow. And I do need to put another piece of tape across there to hold those wires down. Alright guys, I got it turned on with the 3S LiPo. Let's just see what it looks like. What kind of wheel speed are we going to have? Wow, wow, wow. So if you liked the video, hit that thumbs up button. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so then you'll be notified whenever I come out with new videos. Later.